Hello, everybody. Welcome back to RedVsRed podcast, your new Manchester United fan channel that you love. And I'm so glad that you came here today. My name is Sporadiclese, and we've got a lot to go through today. This is our first video back in about a week or so, and so I'm looking forward to digging right into it with everybody. And we've got, like I said, a couple things to talk about. We've got the injuries that have been piling up, and I want to talk about some of those. We also saw that Thomas Tuchel got the England job, so I want to discuss that a little bit, as well as looking forward to the Brentford game that we've got going on tomorrow. So, without further ado, why don't we just go ahead and dive right in to the injury list? Looks like we have quite a few names that have been added to that, as well as some that got added for a day or two, and surprise, surprise, they have come back. So some of the more notable injuries that we have that are newer, we do have Kobbie Mainoo that is going to be out for a few weeks. Really not looking forward to having to fill those shoes for sure. I think that he's been. Well, he's not been a super top performer for us this season so far. He's also not been on the lower end of the performance scale. So he's just kind of got that consistency that we would like to see slowly increase in terms of quality over time. And being out on the sidelines for any extended period of time is not really going to help with that. So, he could definitely use a break given that he's been playing quite a few minutes for us this season. So, unfortunately, it has to be under these circumstances. So we'll see what those implications end up being for us over the next couple of weeks in terms of who's going to rotate in and help out there. The one person that I probably would have put in to kind of play this weekend was going to be Ugarte, who is also seeing some issues coming back from the international break. So he's got a late fitness test. We don't know whether or not we'll see him. I think that my preference would definitely be to just pump the brakes on that for a little bit. No need to rush anybody back. So we'll see what the lineup that Ten Hag picks is going to be. But that's just my 2 cents on him. I'd love to see him get some more minutes. I know he's not had a spectacular start, but it's also only been a couple of matches that he's played. So no need to overreact to any type of potential form issues or what have you. So still looking to get him integrated into the Premier League. It is a much more physical and intense game in comparison to some of the other leagues, particularly Ligue 1, where he's come from. So it's going to take some adjusting for him, and there's no need to rush it if it looks like he's going to be injured. We also saw that Mazraoui had an issue with some heart palpitations and has undergone a minor procedure to correct some of those. I believe that we've been given a fitness update on him from Erik ten Hag, saying that he has passed his fitness test and is available. But again, this is a position that has not been rotated very much, and he probably could use a break. I mean, he's played almost every single match that he's been available for us. If not every single match that he has been available for us, and also coming off the back of the international break too. So could definitely use some rotation there if possible. Harry Maguire also out after sustaining a knock, so really not a great look after after that wonderful performance that he put on. I would have loved to have had him available for this weekend, and it's weird to say that. I know that a lot of Manchester United fans have been questioning his capabilities in terms of the quality that he brings to the Manchester United squad, and so it looked like we had a pretty good game last weekend with the center back pairing of Johnny Evans and Harry Maguire. So losing out on somebody that has been consistent and available, in terms of fitness. It's more of a blow than I think that a lot of people will give credit to have somebody like that unavailable for you. Alejandro Garnacho also looks like he may or may not be available. I think he'll probably start from the bench rather than actually starting the game itself. So him and Diallo, I think Diallo had a virus. He's probably going to be available. I don't see why he wouldn't be. So just, I mean, we're all over the place here with the injuries that we've got going on. Obviously, we still have the long-term injuries of Lenny Yoro, Luke Shaw, and Terrell Malacia. So our left back is still, we still have a big old goose egg in terms of, available um, left backs for this match. So really, it's another year of injury reserve FC. So hoping that we can get everybody fit and rared and ready to go, because we definitely need it at this point. We're playing a lot of people in weird positions and having to play a lot of the same people in the same spots over and over again without a whole lot of rotation. So could definitely use some assistance on that front. Because Ten Hag is going to need to get some performances, but we do have a boost, if you will, for him, for Ten Hag, in that Thomas Tuchel has actually been selected as the new manager for England. And so that was kind of, I feel like a lot of people viewed that as like the safety net of, okay, if we're going to get rid of Eric Ten Hag, we at least have Tuchel. Now it looks like the only other option would be Gareth Southgate, and I think that Gareth Southgate, man, if I could use words, that'd be cool. But it looks like he's going to be one of the few options that we really have available if we were going to replace Eric Ten Hag in the middle of the season with a full-time manager. And I think a majority of the fan base would riot. I think that he's played a lot of uninspiring football for England, and so I think that wouldn't really be the right move. So, my 2 cents, I would give Eric Ten Hag the rest of the season. I mean, there's just not a whole lot of great options there. Ruud van Nistelrooy would be, an interim head coach, and he might end up, being the coach for the rest of the season, were Eric Ten Hag to be sacked. But I don't know that that's going to put us in a better position. So, we'll just kind of have to play it by ear and see how the rest of the season goes. And the rest of the season starts with Brentford tomorrow. So we are going to be playing the Brentford Bees, and it's going to be an interesting matchup. They've got a goal difference of 0. They're actually higher up in the Premier League table than we are. Us with a -3 goal difference, I believe. We're not really scoring goals, and we're conceding still. So this is probably going to be a very back and forth open match, and I'm hoping that we can exploit that a little bit. So without any further ado, let's kind of get into the lineup that I think that we're going to see this weekend against Brentford. So in goal, Onana, no shock there. I think he actually won Premier League save of the month last month for his double save. Really good to see that from him. Hoping that he can, really improve upon what has been a lackluster shot stopping career at Manchester United thus far. And that's going to definitely also hinge on the opportunities that are allowed on our goal by the guys in front of him, and those being Dalot, Martinez, and De Ligt. I think those are going to be the for sure options. What with Harry Maguire out, maybe Johnny Evans steps in, but I think we need to get back to using what I would view as a more long-term partnership in Martinez and De Ligt. Hopefully, the international break is going to have helped with a lot of these players, because we're kind of in some bad ways. I think that in particular, the left back position has been one that has not been very kind to us in the season thus far. And that's no knock on Diogo Dalot. I think he's a great player. I think he's being forced into a position that is obviously not his natural right back position. But he unfortunately, has come under fire for any number of games, and any number of mistakes. And so I'd love to see more from him in terms of the quality that we know he can bring. I mean, he's done great work for us on the other side of the pitch, but maybe the angles just aren't really there for him right now. So being on that left hand side. fingers crossed that he can find a good vein of form, and we can just move forward until we get Luke Shaw and Terrell Malacia back. I don't think this is going to be one of those matches where Amos gets his first start of the season. Maybe, I mean, you've got to at least see him on the bench, though, right? I think he's got to be on the bench as backup, because we're just so thin in those areas. Maybe if there is an injury or something, then Lissandro Martinez could be moved over and we could put Johnny Evans into that position. But I'd also rather just get the youth a few minutes and some of that experience that they're going to need to be able to grow into this Manchester United team. Speaking of Martinez, again, kind of hit and miss. He's had some okay moments. He's had some bad moments, same as De Ligt. And they really need to figure out their partnership. They're not unfamiliar with each other. They have played together at Erik ten Hag's Ajax. And so, this was a relationship that I thought was going to be much more fruitful in the short term, given their familiarity with each other. So they really need to get back on the same page. And I think, that can start with this Brentford match today. Brentford's obviously going to be trying to score goals. They've got 13 on the season, also conceded 13. So again, back and forth match is to be expected. But Martinez and De Ligt, they're going to need to figure each other out. And De Ligt in particular, we brought him in to kind of be the big imposing center back that plays smart and defends well. And we've kind of caught him. He's been caught out of place on any number of occasions. Most recently the Europa League match that we had, and he just got absolutely ran over for the better part of 60 minutes. Just giving up goals in the air and not getting goal side, ball side, things of that nature. Martinez, he also got caught ball watching, on a ball that came back across the net. So Onana's not really had any favors in that regard. And so they're going to have to step up. And I think De Ligt's going to have to be more imposing in the air, be smarter with how he's marking. And I think everybody really needs to be a little bit smarter with how they're marking. And that also is going to depend on the coverage in front of them. And it just keeps on going forward a layer, right? What's the protection that the defense is getting from the midfield from the wingers, and what's the press looking like up top? And so I think that it's going to be a tough match. And so and there's still kind of, in my opinion, a big question mark at right back over who's going to start. I think even though Mazraoui had the palpitations, that's still not something that I would really rush back into. But given the lack of options, I think it's going to be the option that Erik ten Hag makes. This is our most played defensive line. Unfortunately, that means that it's also the line that's given up the most goals in the Premier League this season for Manchester United. So it's a tough pill to swallow, but it's also going to take time for us to be able to really create those relationships with these players. And we're just playing a lot of football right now. It's basically a match every 3 days, 3 or 4 days, just in and out, in and out. And so a lot of these players, you've seen them on the team sheet week in, week out, match in, match out. And so there's going to be some tired legs in there. And I think that's also, one thing that has been kind of not working in our favor, particularly for the defense. But we do have somebody that is kind of that has had a resurgence to some degree in front of them in Christian Eriksen. I think that he's been a solid performer for us this season. Kind of came out of nowhere for me. I wasn't really expecting him to be as involved in the what little success we have seen as a team this season. And so I'm hoping that that this match against Brentford is going to be another one of those games where he steps up and provides that vision, that creativity that we really need to see on offense to create a lot of these chances and maybe even finish a couple. It wouldn't be the first time that he's done it this season. So hoping that we can get some good things out of him while we're still waiting on some of our other central midfielders to come back from injury. And next to him, I mean, it's there's really not a whole lot of options, right? Kobbie Mainoo's out, and we've also got Manuel Ugarte, who is a hard maybe. Again, late fitness test to be expected for him. Um, my guess is that he is not going to start, and we are going to have to start with Casemiro, just given the lack of options that we've got. Toby Collier is another option. I wouldn't mind seeing him play, but I think that Eric Ten Hag is going to pick Casemiro, just kind of as a default. It's familiar to him. It's what he's comfortable with, even though it gives the fan base anxiety every time he steps onto the pitch. So not really the best option, but it is the option in my opinion that is going to be exercised. Going forward to the next line in front of that, we've got our attackers. Starting on the left, we've got Marcus Rashford. I think that Alejandro Garnacho probably isn't going to really be available in this position, or at least not for starting. So I think Marcus Rashford just kind of makes sense. I really wish that we would leave Marcus Rashford on whenever he's our best attacking threat. But I also wish that he wouldn't kind of lose it a little bit whenever he's asked to defend a little bit, because a lot of what we've been seeing in terms of our inability to be effective on defense is coming from that left-hand side and being exploited and overloaded. Other teams know that Marcus is not going to want to track back. He's just not going to do it. And so you add an extra attacker over to that side to kind of exploit the weaker side with Dalot and Martinez. Christian Eriksen's not exactly spry. That's the one thing that I will say that I feel kind of confident in saying. He has been covering a bit of ground, but he's not the quickest, right? So, it's a lot easier for other teams to kind of create those mismatches in that space on that side. So, but the at the end of the day, if we're scoring more goals than the other team, that's really where we're going to be winning the games, right? Rather than a defense that has really not lived up to the expectations thus far. We're going to need it from our attackers. And Marcus Rashford, he can score goals. He has scored goals for us, and he's going to need to find his form, and that starts today. Not being picked for England for so long, I'd really hope that that would kind of galvanize him to bring that best form that we become accustomed to seeing him in. Not last year but the year before. 25, 30 goal haul was fantastic, but just not living up to it. And it's got to start today. It's got to start today. We need goals, and he's a natural goal scorer. He's got that threat, so gonna need it from him. The guy next to him, our captain Bruno Fernandes, has had kind of a weird last few weeks. Double red cards, one being in the Premier League, one being in the Europa League. We were able to get the red card waived from the Premier League match against Tottenham. So why VAR didn't overturn the decision, I have no idea. But it seems like our feelings were justified in that maybe that shouldn't have been a red card. It was clear that he slipped, yada yada. I won't go too much into that, but bottom line, we need for him to find the form that he finds in the Portugal national team. He's been an outstanding performer for them each and every international break. And so we need that Bruno to come back to Manchester United. We need that Bruno to galvanize our team, not just on attack, but on defense as well. He's such an important piece to the puzzle, and the fact that he has been misfiring is kind of epitomizes what's going on at Manchester United right now. Just lack of confidence whenever we're playing for the badge. Lack of any type of real threat or um, attack of prowess, and we're not used to seeing that. He's had 11 shots on goal. He's not scored any. He's gotten 1 assist thus far this season. So we definitely expect more from Bruno, and so I don't want to say it, but we did just give him a new contract, and it seems like whenever we hand out new big contracts, our players just kind of take the foot off the brake. So I'm hoping that's not him. I know that's not what he wants for himself. I know that he wants to perform well, wants to win everything for Manchester United, but we're going to need a little bit more for him to really reach those heights that we were expecting of him. Same as the guy that I'm going to pick as our option at right wing, given that Diallo has had a virus, Garnacho probably not entirely fit. I think that there's only one natural option there, and that's going to be Anthony. He's not going to be plagued by the injury bug, having I don't believe that he was on international duty. I could be wrong about that, so don't quote me there. But I can't see why he would be picked for international duty, given that he's not been getting minutes here at Manchester United. He did not perform very well at all last season, and I think that we've seen some okay moments from him thus far this season, and we're going to need to see some more from him. And this is one of those opportunities that he really needs to take. Playing time for him has been very limited, and he needs to make the most use of the time that he gets as possible. I want to see him taking people on. I do want to see him cutting in and trying to take shots with that left foot of his. I know he can score goals, man. I know he can. He performed really well at Ajax, and I know it's a completely and totally different ballpark playing for Manchester United. Just the weight of the badge itself can be very tough on players. The intensity and the physicality of the Premier League also, can be very tough on players. But we need a bounce back from him. Well, I say a bounce back. We need a bounce from him. Bouncing back implies that that he's been good on the bounce, and he is not. Um, or on the turn for that matter. But that's neither here nor there. So gonna need some things from him. I'm gonna need, again, I want to see our wingers taking people on this match. We know that Brentford likes to attack. We know that Brentford will concede goals. So it's up to us to create our opportunities and take those opportunities whenever they are created, which is the issue that we've had. And I think one person that has been, very lackluster in the finishing department is also going to be my pick for striker, Joshua Zirkzee. I know that he's been used as more of a facilitator, and he's going to continue to be more of a facilitator rather than a finisher. But he does still need to finish. If we're going to play him in that 10 spot, he needs to be a 10. He needs to finish. Rasmus Højlund, the only reason I'm not picking him is because he just played on Tuesday for Denmark. So maybe bring him on at halftime or at the 60-minute mark. Eric Ten Hag loves to make attacking substitutions at the 60-minute mark. And so if Zirkzee has not been performing, doesn't get on the score sheet or isn't really involved in the play, I fully expect that to be a substitution that is made. If not, if it is Rasmus Højlund that starts, I see Rasmus Højlund playing the full match. We just need the attacking threat. But we do create the chances whenever Zirkzee is on the pitch. And so in a match where, it's going to be back and forth, I think that we're still going to want to have that person that is going to link up that play, get the wingers involved. The wingers need goals. And it's gonna start with some good false nine play from Zirkzee. So just it's gonna be an interesting match for sure. But I'm looking forward to it. I am actually looking forward to it, and I think this is one of those one of those matches that will be entertaining. And it's, again, going to be back and forth. So lots of goals, I'm thinking, in this one, because we like to concede, they like to concede. We need to score goals. Brentford just scores goals, so we're gonna go for this one. I'm saying it's gonna be 3-2. It's gonna be a goal fest, but I think that we're going to come out the victors. It's not gonna be an easy weekend for sure, but we will be here, the Saffron Man and I, to discuss all of you know the outcomes and all of the news this weekend after the match. So definitely stay tuned into that. Give us a sub on YouTube. That's free. Give us a follow on Rumble. That's free too. Thank you to everyone that already has done so. We really appreciate all of that. We've mentioned it before, and I'm going to mention it here again. Once we hit 100 followers or subs on Rumble or YouTube, respectively, we are going to make a Discord channel so that we can engage with you guys more. In the meantime, engage us down in the comments below. Let us know what you think of the injury crisis, of not having Thomas Tuchel as a backup in case of sacking Eric Ten Hag. Is Ruud van Nistelrooy going to be good in that position if we do end up firing him? And what do you guys think about the Brentford match? Is this going to be the lineup? Is it not? Is the outcome going to be what I think it's going to be? Let me know down in the comments. We will engage with you guys. And until I see you guys either tomorrow or on Sunday, thanks for stopping in, and we will see you next time. Peace.